giving you tips and tricks and then one-on-one mentorship throughout the hour that we have. So if anybody has any questions of last week or what we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the semester, just let us know now and we can answer that beforehand. And if not, we can get started with today's workshop, where Professor Weiser is going to be talking about how to develop your concepts and business developments in general throughout this workshop. So we have a lot of stuff going on today.
And the next week's workshop, a little quick reminder is that we're going to have Professor Blumen. You guys didn't see her last week, but
She brought the chocolate.
Yeah, she's
Thank you. Another chocolate.
That's Professor Blumen, and she's going to be conducting next week's workshop on the SWOT analysis. So we're going to send out a reminder email also, as well as the recap email tonight. And should we introduce Professor Weiser to come up?
Yes,
I have to
please
come
do.
up now?
Yes.
Thank you. Riley and Autumn work so hard. They're so great. There's so much they're doing behind the scenes, just making sure that we're all on top of our game. So they're emailing me going, "Do you have all your materials?" a week in advance. They're great. So thank you so much. One of the cool things about this program is we get to have various faculty from the business program giving you little tidbits of areas that they're really excited about. So I like to say I'm really into active learning and making sure we do more hands-on stuff when I teach. But then I met Professor Blumen, and she had hula hoops, and I just can't compete with that. So you'll be excited to have her workshop. And Professor Carlton is really good at marketing, and he's going to show us some really cool stuff with that as well. So that's the fun part about being in this program. You're getting some really good hands-on information from some of the great faculty here in our program. So the information we start with is actually pretty simple. It's just sharing your business idea. So that's what I get to share with you. It's called business concept development. Your business all starts with an idea. So one thing I want to talk to you about your idea is sharing it. One of the questions I get from students all the time in this program is, "I'm a little nervous about sharing my idea. What if someone steals it?" Raise your hand if you feel that way. Someone's going to steal my idea. Yeah, it's scary, right? And think about it. We have MCTV here. We've told you there's going to be like 300 students present at that competition day. There usually is. And it's going to be airing on YouTube and on MCTV. Thousands of people will see this, and they could all steal your idea. Please don't leave. So I want to give you both sides of that. I'm a lawyer. I also have a business background, so I'm going to give you the way the different fields look at that. When I've had entrepreneurs come into my classroom, students have asked them that question: what if someone steals my idea? And their response is usually, share your idea with as many people as you can. Why do you think an entrepreneur says that? Share your idea with as many people as you can.
Someone may have a similar idea, or someone can support the idea that you have and maybe collaborate or something.
Thanks, Natalie. So maybe we can collaborate, right? We have similar ideas. We could join forces and make it even better. Other reasons, Malia.
I guess if somebody does steal it, other people can vouch for you that it was kind of your idea.
I told this person first. Yeah, so back in the day when people would file for a patent to try to protect their inventions, they would do just that. They'd mail themselves a letter with the idea in the letter to show I had it first. We'll talk more about the legal side in a minute. Why else might you share your idea?
Get people talking.
Yeah, it spreads it, markets, right? It gets people to start being aware about it. Any other reasons you can think of?
Maybe to see if it's like a relevant product or service.
Good, so see if anyone would be interested. If you're sharing your idea and they look excited and they're like, I want to buy that, I want to use that, that's a good sign. There's one other reason I'm looking for. Anything else you can think of? Amalia.
To hear feedback and improve it, to kind of hear criticism.
Good, feedback, improvements, that's a big reason. If you just keep working on your own and you're doing it all by yourself, you're not really going to get to improve it in a way that's going to help the market. So they're going to give you ideas. This is really neat, but have you ever thought of? You're going, huh? So Amalia, she's going to tell you more about her business today. She has a really cool app, and it helps with a lot of food stuff. I'm a mom. I have a new daughter, and for the first year, she can't have honey. So I was thinking when Amalia was talking about her app, about how that would help with my daughter with honey. And that's something she might not have thought of before. So they can give you ideas to actually build on the one you have and make it even better, and they're the people you want to eventually buy it. So I had an entrepreneur go, one of the judges who's going to be helping on Raptor Tank this year, his name's Shai Palvani, And he always was like, hey, I got to share my idea with as many people as I can. But if I'm listening to the people who are going to use my product and they're telling me what they want and I'm actually responding, how could I fail? So it's a really helpful way to look at things. Let's share our ideas. Now, oh my gosh, someone's going to steal it, right? Raise your hand if you use MySpace. I got a couple people using MySpace. You're killing me. Okay, so they're using MySpace. Great. Raise your hand if you use Facebook. So I got a lot of people using Facebook. Which one came out first?
MySpace.
MySpace. And while it might be a little more music-centered, is that fair? They're both social media sites. They both had a similar idea. It's about the implementation. Okay, so they might steal your idea, just do it better than them, right? Get to market faster, make sure you're doing it better than them, and that will help protect you. Now, from a legal standpoint, a lawyer would probably tell you limit your risk. So you can do something called a non-disclosure agreement when you share your idea, and hopefully then they won't go out and spread that information around. Some entrepreneurs would laugh at that. But entrepreneurs say that's like a joke. If you walk in with that, it looks like a novice thing to do. In the legal field, we're going to protect your idea. You can't protect the idea itself. You can only protect what it becomes. So if you create something like a book, you create a tattoo, you create a choreographed dance, you can protect it with a copyright. Even then, someone can go out and do the same exact thing, and you'll just find yourself in court, spending a lot of time and money fighting them about stealing your idea. And we don't want to waste all our resources on that. So I also get a lot of students in this program saying, I need to patent my idea. A patent is for something you've invented. Again, it's not the idea itself, it's the thing that it's become. It can be the design. I don't have a phone in front of me. The design of this. I'm designing this clicker and it has this unique shape. That can be protected. Or the actual functionality, this cool laser. I can protect that with a patent, but again, you can go out and make the same thing. Now, Samsung made a similar phone to Apple and they found themselves in court. And then you're spending all your resources fighting it. So I've had lawyers tell students, even in this program, get your idea off the ground, get it going, make sure it has value before you spend all your money on trying to protect it from other people using it. They still could possibly use it as well. So those are kind of the different perspectives on sharing your idea. Hopefully I've convinced you it's okay to share it. We're going to share it in this program anyway, so get used to it, okay? So in terms of your idea, how you explain it. You're so excited about it and passionate about it that you start explaining it, and sometimes they just don't get it, your potential customers. We want to make sure you're being really clear and concise when you're sharing it. So a key skill for any entrepreneur you'll see on the screen here is being able to effectively explain your business idea. You'll use this on the competition day, but also as you share it with your customers. Even if you're not trying to find an investor, you don't need money. You need to explain your idea to potential customers. There are other people you might want to help come work for you at that business. You never want to be in a conversation with someone where they don't understand what your business is. They're not going to be interested in buying it if they don't know what they're buying. So we want to help you with that. You don't want to sound like these guys. Anyone heard of College Humor before? This is a fun site. You don't want to be like these guys. So watch what these guys do and look for some don'ts, some things we should not do when we're sharing our ideas.
So the long and the short of it is the website is in trouble. I hear you guys can help.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Not a problem. 100%. Let us explain a little bit about what our company, Brush Farm Media, does.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our other partners, Kyle Chadwick and Moog, couldn't be here.
And what they're doing, Samba?
No.
Sambro?
No.
Sambro.
I like Sambone.
What's actually interesting about Sambone is they are pitching a straight to Nokia-based smartphone app called 5 Square, similar to 4 Square, except that it's for medical professionals who have HPV.
What Brushfire Media does is a little different. We started in our dorm room at Oswego College
Go
4
Owls.
years ago, as a way to seamlessly fuse branded integrations with content creators such as yourselves.
With any event.
Okay, look, if I could just drive the bus for a second. Okay. Branded integration from a user-side content platform is dad.
It's that.
It's totally dad.
It's that.
It's dad.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to offend anyone.
Not offending me because I don't understand.
That is why we started Movie Mood Digital, okay? To focus on SEO, keyword-rich trend tracking, and have had a lot of success on the mobile-to-mobile, tablet-based client side.
So then we use that momentum with our silent partners, Brady, Chad, Dexter, Tyler, and Tim. We started Gizcrunk Media, which provides user testing from an analytics perspective, and it's a companion product to KUM Digital's cloud source integration field.
Sorry, I'm a little confused. What's the name of your company?
Well, I actually feel like Devil's Deuce Interactive would be the best fit for you guys. Devil's Deuce Interactive was
Okay, we get the point, right? So what were some of the things they were doing wrong that we want to avoid? Who has some ideas?
Not being clear.
Business is about being very comfortable, having to be uncomfortable. So go ahead, start sharing ideas. What were they doing wrong?
Throwing out buzzwords with no
Buzzwords, no meaning. So they're using a lot of jargon from the field. That's not a good way to make sure people are understanding. If you're using something, I had a student yesterday coming up to me and they kept saying SCM, which is supply chain management. Not everyone you meet is gonna go, oh, SCM, yeah. You know, you gotta explain it. They don't always necessarily know the jargon in your field. So you wanna make sure that you're being clear. The American public generally reads at like an 8th grade level. Imagine you're explaining your business to an 8th grader. Okay, so don't assume they understand, you know, all these different buzzwords they were throwing out there. What else was wrong with what they were doing? Go ahead.
jumping around with their like ideas, talking fast, going off topic.
Do they seem prepared? So jumping around, going off topic, it was hard to follow them. They weren't being very clear. By practicing, we can have a nice clear sequence and be really ready to say what we need to say and make sure that it's something you can follow. You know, he said multiple times, I'm confused. What else is a problem? Texting. What's wrong with texting?
Shows you're not interested.
Yeah, so I used to work at AT&T. I was there just to kind of date myself. Texting, we used to call it the AT&T prayer because people would sit at the meetings and they do it like this, you know, looking down like they're praying. And, you know, we can see you. They can see in this meeting you're texting. If you're texting, what does it show them about you?
I'm not interested.
Yeah, you're not serious. You're not really showing them respect, committing your time to them. What else seemed wrong with what they were doing?
They were like talking over each other and not collaborative at all.
So especially if you have teammates, you want to make sure you each have kind of key ways you can contribute to the discussion without talking over each other or duplicating, repeating what you're saying. That's a big one. Anything else?
The overall and professionalism, the sunglasses, the 5-hour energy on the 10.
So the sunglasses indoors, probably not necessary. The attire you wear. I had a boss once who said, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Be careful. The next day, some guy showed up in a Red Sox jersey. I'm from Massachusetts, so he took it too seriously. You want them to get an image of you with the job that you're eventually looking for, usually, you know, business casual or suit, something that's a little more professional. They were pretty laid back in that meeting. Now play off the person you're in a meeting with. I went to a guy's business that was a new startup. It was a tech startup, and everyone there was in jeans and a t-shirt, and I showed up in something like this. And I was a little out of place, so you can never be overdressed. You can certainly be underdressed. Donna, you had a question?
No, I was.
You want to contribute?
And they seem overconfident, so like it's too much.
So a little too confident, they might come off as arrogant, which can be off-putting to some people. Really good point. Thank you, Donna. Who can tell me what their business is?
P2P cloud-based computing.
5 square.
Beats me, right? So they didn't really get the point across. We're going to make sure you don't run into the same issue today. So here's some tips and tricks for that. 5 simple steps, right, to make sure that you can explain your idea. Maybe investors, really customers, and even your grandma. And you should be bragging about this to your family too. So keep it short. Your explanation should not need to be more than a few sentences. We'll work on those in writing so you can practice them verbally, and you'll practice today. Identify the problem you're solving. I was in the consulting field for a long time. We called these pain points. Okay, things that were challenges for the customer. That's what will attract their attention. Okay, so as students, what's something that's hard for you? A pain point for you? Affording gas. So I might not think of that as someone running this business, but that's important to you. And if students are my customers, that's going to be something I'm going to focus on when I'm pitching the business idea. Okay, if it's something like, hey, I can solve gas. I can get you gas cheaper. I want to focus on that first. Time. If there's some way that I can help solve time. I can cut down on time problems for you as a student. That could be a pain point. I want to show you the value of the business by focusing on the problem. Explaining your solution. How can you fix it? So for each of you, you want to say, hey, here's the solution that I bring to the table. If you're trying to text and drive, this new resource will do it for you. That way you don't need to look away from the wheel. It's a solution. Explaining your solution needs to be for your customer, okay, not for you. So how can we solve their pain points to help show them value? I told you I worked at AT&T. I sold phones. Right? Who uses their phone to make phone calls frequently? Right, that's one reason. Who uses it for texting? Raise your hand if you use it for email. Okay, keep your hand up if you want to make sure the text is super, super large because you have a hard time reading it. It's really important to you. Some of my customers, it was. They'd come in and all they wanted was a phone that had the largest text because they couldn't really see very well, and that one that did the emailing and all that quickly. So that was their pain point. So I'm not going to walk into them and be like, hey, this phone's really cool. It does email, it does texting. And they're like, I haven't emailed or texted a day in my life. Have I caught their attention? What they cared about was large text. So to make sure I'm offering a solution that fits their needs, I want to find out what those needs are. Now down here, personalize it. If at all possible, make your explanation relate to the person you're talking to. Hey, you're a student. I know you need to use the phone sometimes because you're on the go, you're waiting for the bus, and you need to check your student email. You need to check Blackboard. So that can be a helpful way to personalize it, to catch their attention, again, for the business idea. The more interactive you make the discussion, the higher the chances are that your audience will actually be receptive to it. So we have a few different ways here to help make sure that you're selling your idea in the right way, explaining it in the right way. To help you practice, we have a worksheet in front of you. Who's missing this worksheet? I'm not sure if everyone got one. This came from you, Professor Blumen. She provided this great worksheet that our students use. So at the very top, you'll see it asks you simply, what is your product or service? Like, what does it do? Like, what are you doing with your business? How is it unique? Remember, there's how many pizza places within a radius of this? Maybe 20 in a mile radius of us. It doesn't have to be that you're the only business that does it, but what are you doing that's unique? Will you have higher quality products, better customer service? How are you doing it differently? Who do you think is going to buy it? You want to think about that in terms of how you bring a solution. Is it going to be students? Well, what are things students like? Why will they buy it? Will they buy it from you because it's the lowest price? Will they buy it from you because you have the best service? Will they buy it from you because you're the only one doing it? How will you generate cash flow? I have a big problem with this in my classes. We do something like a business plan, and students come up with an idea, and a lot of them want to do apps, and they want to offer it for free. You have to have some money to actually build the app and to maintain it. Even if it's just a website, you need to maintain the website. So you need to make money in some way to help continue your business. Then the last piece, how will you promote and sell it? So these are some areas to think through to help make sure that you're explaining your idea clearly. So what I'm going to ask you to do, because we want to help you help each other and share best practices, I'm going to ask you to work with another business team. So a lot of you are working individually in here in your actual businesses. I think we have one team over here of two. So team up together, and I'm going to ask you to work together and fill out this worksheet. We're going to give you, let's see, about 5 to 10 minutes working together to do that, and we'll have myself, Professor Carlton, and Professor Blumen available if you have questions as you work on describing your business idea. So try describing it to your partners, and then working through this worksheet, make sure that you can answer these questions about your business. Ultimately, after about 10 minutes, you're going to come up front and pitch your idea to everyone in the room. So it'll be your first time practicing, and then they will provide feedback. If you pitch it to all of us and we all look as confused as those guys did, we have some work to do, right? So you have some time to practice with your partners, and you have some time to pitch in front of everyone. Does that sound helpful? All right, well, let's get started. We like to be hands-on, so grab your worksheet. In terms of working with someone, if you want to work with the people next to you, that's fine. Amalia, you're with Steven? You guys are together? Amalia, you want to come over here? Who doesn't have a partner?
Oh, thank you. Cool.
Anyone not have a partner? I'm going to turn this off.